And now, introducing his neck, my back, we're both geriatrics. His injury is from looking down his nose at his curling competitors, and mine, well, that's a story for another day. He is Glenn Clark.
Good morning, it is Glenn Clark Radio. I am Glenn Clark. He is Paul Valley. It's a lovely Wednesday. It's warm out today. My wife had the windows open in the house this morning when I woke up, which I was like, well, this seems pleasant. And then I heard this bird chirping and, like, driving me effing nuts.
Michael Rappaport and Friends?
Kind of like that, yeah. I just absolutely had this feeling where I was like, oh, no, I forgot this was a thing. Because it's been a long time, of course.
Right.
And I was like, no, I don't want this. Like, this part, I'm all for the weather part, but, like, I don't need the birds trying to wake me up in the morning. That part sucks. I'm out on that.
Right.
But otherwise, really pleasant morning to wake up to. We got a lot to do on the program today. Coming up in just a few minutes, we're going to check in with Visit Baltimore President CEO Al Hutchinson. It's obviously a big week for the city of Baltimore, hosting the CIAA Tournament. Of course, day one was yesterday. Day two already underway at Royal Farms Arena. 6 more games today. There are still tickets available through the championship games on Saturday. Go to CIAAtournament.org in order to get yours. That's CIAAtournament.org in order to be a part of the CIAA Tournament, which is an amazing event right here in Baltimore. Also, coming up a little bit later on this morning, looking forward to catching up with LaMonte Wade. What a season for late-night Lamont last year with the San Francisco Giants. He, in fact, earned an MVP vote. It was so impactful. LaMonte Wade, of course, native of Baltimore by way of St. Paul's, ended up at the University of Maryland, and, you know, had been struggling to sort of get his footing. He had a couple of call-ups with the Twins in the last few years, and, you know, it just wasn't sticking for whatever reason. And then last year, it was like a phenomenon. I mean, it wasn't quite Cedric Mullins. He wasn't, you know, it wasn't that overwhelming, but my God, it just came out of nowhere for LaMonte Wade, where he had this unbelievable special season, and I'm looking forward to chatting with him because, like, I did not know the story that he was literally coming back home and working with the hitting coach at the University of Maryland at all times, and I think it's fascinating to talk about that. So we're going to catch up with LaMonte Wade a little bit later on this morning as well. Also this morning, it's Wednesday, so Drew Forrester, drewsmorningdish.com will check in with us. Everybody in golf hates Phil Mickelson. It's a crazy story like that. I wish that I was a golf person because I can only imagine how much juice it has in that world. I'm not a golf person, and I can't pretend like the average person cares about it, but I get it. It's transcended a bit beyond golf, so we'll talk about it with him, plus whatever the hell else is on Drew's mind. That's all coming up on the show. Plus, it's Wednesday, so Simply the Bets coming up a little bit later on. We do it every Wednesday, 11:30 a.m., brought to you by the FanDuel Sportsbook at Live Casino and Hotel Maryland. Simply the Bets, 11:30-ish every Wednesday morning. That's coming up today as well. How you feeling over there?
Much better than yesterday.
That's good.
Much better than yesterday. It was debilitating yesterday.
Paul was doing that bit where, like, I thought he was going to die yesterday. Like,
I did too.
Where it's very awkward when you're working with somebody like that because what you want to say is, like, leave, go home, but you know, we can't do that.
Right.
Like, it's just not really an option around here. Like, if Paul unfortunately were to be shot in the head during the show, he would have to finish the show before we would be able to do it. It's just look, man, it's the way it goes. Like, we all understand what we signed up for. It's the nature of the business. You know, put some ice on it or something, right? Like, That's the way that it goes. I'm glad. And today is Mrs. Valley's birthday.
Today is Mrs. Valley's birthday.
And you're going out to dinner tonight?
Yeah, we got her a massage yesterday.
Put on like a Teddy Pendergrass record afterwards or something.
I'm thinking about. I don't think she's listening right now, so I can say.
Okay.
I'm thinking about going and getting a new shower head for her too, because the one that we have, when I showered this morning, I'm like, man, this one's on its last legs. I think it's something she'd really appreciate, and the big gift was the massage, and she thoroughly enjoyed that. Specifically what she asked for, so we got that for her, and maybe I'll get her a shower head today just so that she can start taking nice showers again, because ours is. Well,
that's lovely. That's lovely. You're not a. We're gonna dive into the Valley's home life. You're not the type that, like, prefers showering together, right?
No, our shower is way too small for that.
That totally creeps me out. Yeah. I've got a lifelong best friend who lives in Brooklyn, right? Mm-hmm. And he, and not is current, but the former, that came down to visit, and I was talking about, like, hey, the towels are in here, all good, and like we were talking about when they wanted to, because like, when you're living in a place that only has one shower, you got to kind of coordinate, and people are staying there, like, hey, when do you guys shower? Like, what's the plan? They literally dropped that. Well, we'll just shower together.
Mm.
And I was like,
not in my shower, you won't.
I was like, what? Well, I don't think it's that. Like, I think I don't think that. I don't think so.
Water conservation.
I think it's 100% because they live in Brooklyn. Like, they're used to like this obsessive water conservation concept.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, no. We don't. There's no need for that. There's no need for that whatsoever here. That actually creeps me out. The idea of showering with another human being. Not that obviously I've done it, but like, no, I can just take a shower. Like,
right.
I'm capable of being a big boy, and there's a bed available for other activities or whatever it is that you want to do. It's far less pleasant in a shower than it is in those circumstances. I'm just a man who would prefer to shower on my own. Thank you very much.
I'll tell you, anytime that I have showered with another person, you find yourself standing in the cold quite a bit because only one person can be underneath the water, so you're just standing there freezing.
This is probably, and this might be Tommy Davidson. Let's see. If it's Tommy Davidson, we'll squeeze him in before we chat with Al Hutchinson. We'll squeeze him in for a couple of minutes. The legendary Tommy Davidson was scheduled to join us, and we just didn't know if it was going to work out timing-wise. But what a pleasant way to start the show. What a nice, lovely, unexpected way to begin today's show. All right, we got much to do on the program, but let's spend a couple of minutes this morning with an absolute icon in the world of comedy. He's a D.C. guy, but he's made plenty of trips to Baltimore over the years. It's a pleasure to welcome back in Tommy Davidson to GCR, who's with us right now. Tommy, it's Glenn and Paul. It's such an honor to chat with you as always. Thank you for taking the time for us this morning.
My man's in Baltimore.
Yeah, what's going on, Tommy? Yeah, we got to fix. Sorry, we have an issue going on with the phone. We'll get that fixed real quick, and then we'll get right back to Tommy Davidson.
I'm right here with you. I ain't going nowhere.
Hey, Tommy, appreciate it, man. Hey, so I am really excited. The Proud Family is back on Disney+. Can I run this by you, right?
Yeah.
Unfortunately, no one's immortal. We know that, right? So I'm thinking 40, 50 years down the road. Unfortunately, Tommy Davidson has passed away. There's a news anchor reading the script that you have passed away. Would you prefer that to be read this way? And sad news to pass along today. Tommy Davidson, at the age of 100, the star of the Proud Family, has passed away. Or would you prefer it to be read, and sad news to pass along today, at the age of 100, Tommy Davidson, the star of Booty Call, has passed away today. Which would you prefer to be the attachment the day that you meet your maker?
Probably Booty Call.
Yeah! I love that. I love that so much. Tommy, this
don't
is...
require no thinking.
Tommy, that being said, obviously being a part of the Proud Family, look, it's Black History Month. I think we can speak to this. Representation in children's programming, I think, matters. Bringing it back now with Disney+. How important has your association with this been, knowing that over the years and when you were growing up, and frankly, even when I was growing up, there wasn't maybe this type of representation amongst children's programming?
Not at all. Not at all. Especially we had the Jackson 5 cartoon. We had Fat Albert, but that's about it. Now we got the Proud Family. We had them 16, 17 years ago, and now we got them again. What cartoon has done that? Besides like Scooby-Doo.
Yeah. Yeah, it's amazing, right?
Scooby-Doo is a cartoon that won't go away.
Well, hang on a second. We don't need it to go away. Like, my kids still love Scooby-Doo. I'm not trying to force
I love Scooby, man.
That's not bad, bro. That's not bad. That is really, really good. Well, this is a cool thing.
I like Scoob.
It's back on Disney+. When you got the call, when you found out it was happening again, how much did that mean to you?
Everything. It means that we're back, that I'm back with Disney, which is a great, great company to be with.
Yeah.
I'm associated with Moana and just everything.
No, it's incredible.
I'm on Disney+.
Right? I feel like you're a made man at that point, aren't you? Like, once you got the association.
Disney+.
Right.
I'm right next to the square. My square is next to Star Wars. Come on.
Yeah, right? I mean, it's a pretty good association at that. Like, you're right in between, like, Star Wars and Spider-Man You can't really do a whole lot better than that.
You can't do a whole lot with that.
Right.
You know, if you scroll far enough, you'll see Snow White and all of them too.
Hang on a second, Tommy. I don't even know this. How old? Like, are you at the point where you've got grandkids, or like where are you in your life, family wise?
I'm at the point where I have a 10-month-old daughter.
You have a 10-month-old daughter, Tommy?
Yeah.
What? Oh, dude.
She's a slice of pie too.
God, bro, my God bless you. I'm only 38 years old, and like I'm exhausted. How in the world are you doing this?
It has the most sparkling effect on my life.
Really?
It's one of the best things to ever happen to me.
Oh, that's incredible, man. First of all, congratulations. Let me make sure I say that. Congratulations.
I don't know. She's given me a new look on life.
Dude, that's powerful, man. Like, that's really powerful to hear you talk about that. Like, look, man. I don't know how you're doing it. Is she
Such a pure being?
Is she capable of like comprehending yet that that's Daddy's voice that she's gonna hear if you put the proud?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, that's
I'll
cool.
be on the phone with her mom and she'll be like, ah!
That's awesome, man. That is so cool. Tommy Davidson is with us here on GCR. Tommy, I feel like the last time I talked to you, you had a legendary story about performing in Baltimore and a particular like woman that you came in touch with. Do you remember the story that I'm alluding to that we talked about? I mean, it's been years.
No. What was it now?
Man, I was hoping you were going to pull it back up. I remember you telling me a story about work, and I want to say the Comedy Factory or maybe the old Improv, and there was a certain like heckler that you dealt with that was very unique in her heckling style, and I was really hoping to lead that back in, but since it didn't go anywhere, instead, can you just share with me a great story that you've dealt with over the years in relation to somebody at a comedy show?
Yeah, a woman died at my show.
That's the one! That's the story you told me. That's the story.
A woman died at my show, and it was 15 minutes into my show, and I invited her to the show with her 2 children.
I remember this now. My God. And how do you ever go on from there?
It was devastating, and my mother had passed away a couple of years back, so I was back there with her children because I know how that feels. And we all got together in the dressing room, and the manager said, does anyone want to do the second show? Because if you don't, we're going to close down.
Right.
If you don't, we understand. And they turned to me and said, Tommy, what do you think? I said, what do you mean? He said, it's your show. What do you decide? And I say, I decided to go on making people happy.
I respect that, man.
What better job can you have?
It can't be easy though, doing something like that. Boy, what a topic to bring up when we're talking about fun things. By the way, what a topic.
Well, there's a silver lining there. This woman walked up to me as everybody. I got a faith in mankind behind that. People filed out one by one. It was calm. There wasn't a dry eye in the house. Even the Mexican dishwashers were back there like crying.
Jeez, man, I can only imagine.
This woman walks up to me, beautiful African American woman, look at me right in the eyes, and she said, "Isn't that beautiful?" And I said, "What do you mean?" She said, "Of all the things that God could have brought her up to heaven with, it could have been a car accident, cancer. He chose your show."
Okay, it's amazing perspective. I don't know if I could feel it in that moment. Tommy, let me ask you one thing because I know we're gonna because you got to do a million of these. Have you ever experienced? It's CIAA week here in Baltimore, right? The CIAA tournament came here for the first time. Have you ever experienced the magic? Like, have you ever been at any CIAA parties or performed around the CIAA? Have you ever touched? No.
No, that's one of the things that I'm missing out on.
We got to make that happen somehow.
That would be wonderful.
It's going to be in Baltimore for a few years, so we're gonna make that happen, man, because it is taking over this city.
Wow.
Yeah, we'll be.
I would love to be a part of that.
We got to make that happen at some point in the coming years. Tommy, I know you got a million of these to do this morning. We're so excited about the Proud Family coming to Disney Plus. My kids are going to be watching for sure. Thank you, as always, for taking the time for us this morning, my friend. And let's do this again at some point in the future, all right?
Thank you, man. Thanks for this, man. Appreciate you, man.
The legendary Tommy Davidson spending a couple minutes with us. I'm sorry. I wanted to go longer with Tommy, but we got a couple other things we got to do this morning, and so I apologize for that. But what a funny man Tommy Davidson is, and you can follow him on Twitter at TommyCat, and on Instagram you can follow him, The Real Tommy Cat. Appreciate him taking a couple of minutes for us this morning. We got to get him to the CIAA at some point. It's got to happen, man. Like, it absolutely 100% has to occur that Tommy Davidson comes to the CIAA in the coming years while it's here in Baltimore. Speaking of which, as we smoothly transition, man, this is a great opportunity to catch up with someone who's right at the center of CIAA week and why it's so important to our city, what it's doing for our city, and the investment that it's making as we make investments in the facility in order to have more events like this. Joining us now, the president, the CEO of Visit Baltimore. We welcome into Glenn Clark Radio, Al Hutchinson, who's with us this morning. Al, it's Glenn and Paul. It's great to chat with you. I know it's a busy week. Thank you for taking a couple of minutes for us this morning.
Hey, good morning, Glenn. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it. I'm sitting right here at the arena as we speak.
I was going to say, game started at 10 a.m., right? Like,
yes,
it is
sir.
a busy day, man. It's a very busy day. Al, for those that don't know, for those that are still like, what, this is a Division II, and let's be fair about this. I think we can call it what it is. For those of us that are that are a little bit whiter in our listening base, why is the CIAA tournament such a big deal? Why is it such an important cultural touchstone to bring to the city of Baltimore?
Yeah, well, thanks, Glenn. Well, first of all, the CIAA men's and women's basketball tournament is much more than just basketball. And because of the longevity of it, I attended the tournament as a kid growing up in Richmond. It's a family reunion. It's a social gathering. It's a community event. Yeah, it is Division II basketball, but keep in mind a lot of great athletes came through this conference before integration. So Bobby Dandridge, Earl of Pearl Monroe,
yep.
Sam Jones, all great NBA Hall of Famers. They couldn't go to the major universities at the time, and they went to CIAA schools. And so that put this conference on the map, very competitive basketball, and they grew the tournament. And it's moved around the South, primarily Virginia and the Carolinas. Charlotte had a great run, 15 years. They grew the tournament to where it is today. And so I believe basketball is the backdrop, but the beauty of hosting the CIAA is you're going to bring people in from all around the country, primarily East Coast. But folks will come to this tournament that didn't go to any one of these schools, but they come here to see family. They come here to see friends, see basketball. And I think because now Baltimore's the backdrop, we're going to be able to show and celebrate Charm City to a lot of people who don't know about Baltimore.
Now, do you have I read a quote from you in the Sun, and it really sort of, I think, jumped off the page at me for people to understand the significance of it, where you said that hotels in the area were at 80% capacity. It's Wednesday, February 23rd, right? Like, I don't know what that number would be in another year. Like, I don't know what that number was like in 2019, for example, but I'm just going to guess it probably wasn't 80% capacity on February 23rd. Can you give us a concept of what the impact of the CIAA, I don't know if it's a figure, just something along those lines for us to understand what it's going to be this year and for the years to come?
Yeah, Glenn, great question. And I'm really trying to temper expectations here because all of us are still dealing with the pandemic of our generation. And the uptick of Omicron coming, late last year has really impacted some folks' willingness to come to the tournament. So, yeah, the good news is right now, out of the 12 hotels that are part of the booking agreement for the CIAA, we're at right around 80% of hotel room pickup. That's a good news story because typically, or historically, I should say, in Baltimore City, this week, the last week in February, most hotels are around 50 to 60% occupancy. So if we at the conclusion of this week, if we're in the 70s, 80s of hotel room pickup, that is a great news story for Baltimore City because that means tax revenue is strong. It's also a great news story for the state of Maryland because they get some of that hotel tax revenue. And quite frankly, a number of these hotels the last couple of years, they laid off staff. Some of the general managers were furloughed. So the significance of bringing the CIAA to Baltimore, we're putting people back to work. So it has a workforce development component to it that I don't want folks to lose sight of. We're trying to re-energize an industry that has really been in a bad place. So, yes, we're excited about this tournament here. and people are back to work, and I think our hotel community is excited about this tournament.
Tickets are still available if you go to CIAA Tournament.org or CIAA Tournament.org. Al Hutchinson is with us. He's the president and CEO of Visit Baltimore. Al, I know this is not a one-year thing, and of course, this comes with the backdrop of there's a renovation, a obviously much-needed and long overdue renovation coming to Royal Farms Arena. Can you give me a sense of the commitment from the city of Baltimore and the CIAA to make this even bigger, and as we get further removed from the pandemic, even bigger with a renovated arena in the coming years?
Yes, sir. So we have a 3-year contract with the CIAA, and thanks to Baltimore City, Mayor Scott and team, and the state of Maryland, Lieutenant Governor Rutherford, they made the commitment for us to get the CIAA tournament here. So obviously 2021, no basketball due to the pandemic. And so we have basketball this week, and then they will be back in 2023. So this will be the last event in Royal Farms Arena prior to renovation. Beginning next week, they will begin renovation, updating Royal Farms Arena. And the tournament, CIAA tournament, will be the first event in the new and improved Royal Farms Arena next February. What I hope is, Glenn, I've made a commitment to the CIAA that we will submit a proposal for their review sometime next month, probably toward the end of March. And we want to submit a proposal to encourage them to extend. And so that's our hope, but we don't take anything for granted.
Sure.
We have to make sure it makes sense financially for both parties. And so we're working on that. We don't have any pen to paper yet, but I can tell you we're going to do our due diligence, and we're playing this game to win the game.
Tommy, sorry, I apologize, Al. I was talking to Tommy Davidson, the legendary comedian, earlier this morning, and things are running together for me. Al, with that in mind, is it fair to assume that the new arena, there will be, I said it's not a new arena, but the renovated arena, there will be a concept or a plan in place to try to get even more big events, college basketball related or not, that the idea of doing a project like this is, as great events as we've had in the city, and give Frank and his team all the credit in the world for what they've been able to do. Very fair about that. That the idea would be that there could be a step up in the type of events that perhaps Baltimore is capable of pursuing, hosting, in the arena after renovations are completed.
That would be the goal, Glenn. My team, we have a sports marketing manager who focuses on all great sporting events, from the World Cup to Maryland Cycling Classic,
Yep.
CIAA. So sports marketing is a part of our mission. We're very focused on it. And in fact, during COVID, one of the markets that's kept Baltimore and other cities moving forward is sports marketing. So there's no doubt a new and improved Royal Farms Arena will help us in that case. We'll work very closely with Baltimore City and the developer to determine what's the right fit for future activities. But make no mistake, we are going to be very aggressive. We want the CIAA basketball tournament here as long as they want to be here. But there are other opportunities that we're going to take a look at as well. So stay tuned. We'll continue to have conversations with the city about positioning.
I mean, all of that sounds really good to me, Al. Like I am in favor of anything that benefits the city and benefits local businesses. So let's get it. I've made this joke over the years. Not everything's for everybody, right? Like there are people that, believe it or not, aren't Paul McCartney fans. We can talk about that in a second. It was never my thing when the My Little Pony convention came to the Baltimore Convention Center. Like I wasn't going to be the guy, but I support it 100. I want all of these events. I want everything here that helps benefit the city and the businesses in the city and gets more people into hotels and restaurants. Let's go get them all, right? I'm sure you guys feel the same way.
Oh, Glenn, I couldn't agree with you more. Look, I'm in the economic development business.
Yep.
My job and my team's job is to find opportunities that make sense for Baltimore and fills need periods, i.e. CIAA. historically, the last week in February, it's a slow business time period.
Yep.
We were able to identify a piece of business, fill a gap that the city really needed, and that's what we're going to continue to do. And I'm about bringing business to Baltimore that can help our hoteliers, our restaurateurs, our local attractions, our small businesses. As long as I'm doing that, I keep my job. If we're not doing that, then we got a problem.
Well, let's keep doing it, and let's keep having more big. And as I pointed out, the Paul McCartney thing, that's a big deal, right? Like, I think
It's a huge deal.
I can't even begin to fathom what that's going to do for just one night for the entire city. Like, it's the idea of this, and you can tell me more. The fact that the Orioles started this before the pandemic. Do you have a sense that this is going to be something that's going to be happening more regularly with the Orioles in the entertainment business, trying to do a little bit more than even just the 80 baseball games we know we're going to get every summer?
No, I think to John Angelos and the Baltimore Orioles' credit, they're being innovative and they're looking for unique opportunities to expand their footprint and get non-baseball revenue. And so having Sir Paul McCartney come to Baltimore, he's an icon, right? Mr. Beatle has not been to Baltimore since 1964. This is huge for Baltimore City. It's huge for the Baltimore Orioles brand. Our brand is Baltimore City. I'm in the leisure visitors business as well, in addition to the event business. And by Sir Paul McCartney coming to Baltimore, that's going to bring some leisure visitors that will come in for the concert. But they may stay 2 nights. They may come the night before and stay. They'll stay the night after the concert, fill our hotels, eat and dine at our restaurants. So this is huge. I think in the future we can expect more of these kind of opportunities from the Baltimore O's, and I think this is great for our brand and where we want to go as a city and as a community. And I applaud what John Angelos and the Baltimore Orioles team has done with this one.
Can I put in a request out? Because you're now the most powerful person I know, all right? So I don't know if you can pull this off, but I'm just going to put it in the request anyway. I want everyone who performed at the Super Bowl halftime show to play a show together in Baltimore this summer. Do you think you can pull that off for me, Al?
Hey, Glenn, you're a really great guy, man, and you're asking for a lot. I think that was an incredible halftime performance as well.
It was amazing. It was amazing.
I don't think I have that kind of
Oh, man, all right.
We'll see what we can do.
I'll keep asking everybody I know. I'll just keep asking everybody else I know that has any amount of power.
That was a powerful halftime, no doubt.
It was incredible. I was really hoping, like, I swear to God, for a second when I heard there was going to be a big announcement last week, I was like, well, maybe. Then I was like, oh, Paul McCartney's pretty big too. Like, I want to make that very clear. I'm excited. I, in fact, already got my tickets for Paul McCartney because I was so excited about it with the pre-sale yesterday. So,
hey, look, the Beatles, man, arguably the
greatest
band in the history of music. So come on.
It's massive. It's absolutely massive. Al, is there anything else that people in Baltimore should know about right now that you guys are working on, that you guys are doing? Maybe somewhere where Visit Baltimore intersects with sports? Anything else that people should know about besides obviously getting down and feeling and touching and being a part of the incredible CIAA tournament?
Well, first of all, thanks for having me on this morning. And what I would say to your listeners, I would encourage them to come downtown to buy a ticket to attend the tournament this week. We had great buzz in the building yesterday, but the momentum's just going to continue to grow. And when you buy a ticket to the CIAA, you are supporting a young man, a young woman who attends one of these 12 HBCUs to go to school. So that's what you're doing when you're buying a ticket. So I would encourage your listeners to join us in this effort. We want Baltimore to shine this week, and so I want to thank the private sector who's partnered with us, and obviously the city and the state. So join us in this, because if we do this well, Glenn, what happens, it positions us, it gives us leverage as we try to woo the World Cup in 2026. Future events, you got Notre Dame coming here to play.
Right, Navy in the fall, yeah.
For football.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of great things on the plate. We're actually looking at trying to bring Army and Navy games back to Baltimore. We're partnering with the Baltimore Ravens to make that happen. So look, if we do this well, this helps us to bring other future sporting events. So please join us. Come out, buy a ticket, do a staycation, stay at one of the beautiful hotels in downtown Baltimore. So look, this is all about Baltimore this week, Glenn. So I need you, use your platform to help us. And I thank you for what you've done thus far of pushing the CIAA. But let's go do this, man, and make it great for the city.
Baltimore.org in order to find out more about Visit Baltimore. Al Hutchinson, absolutely love this. As I keep saying, all for everything that helps our city. Thank you for taking the time for us this morning. Let's chat again down the road, all right?
Yes, sir, Glenn. Thank you very much. Enjoy your day, my friend.
You as well. Al Hutchinson, President, CEO of Visit Baltimore, checking in with us this morning. Look, I know some of this sounds trite, right? Like, you're like, it is not my responsibility to spend my money a certain way. And you're right. Like, there's no obligation to it. I'm not going to get in your wallet. I'm not going to do that. But you can't dismiss what it is that Al Hutchinson is saying either. This one might not be for you, and that's fine. I get it. Not everything is for me. If you're not a basketball fan, you're probably not geeked up about the CIAA. Someone you know is. And to his point, the better showing for the event, the more likely it is to get another event that might be your thing. If your thing is soccer and you want the World Cup to come to Baltimore, he's not wrong. Like, we have to deal with this. He's not wrong. A big showing for a major event in Baltimore that goes off well and looks good and gets rave reviews helps a decision maker when it comes to the next event that might come to Baltimore. And you can be as cynical as you want to be and say whatever it is you want to say in response, but to think that that can be dismissed is nonsense. I said for years, people would make fun of the My Little Pony convention when it come to town, and I would never get it. It's like, I hope you come over. Back in the day, I was doing my show from a downtown business on every Friday afternoon in the summer. I had to do my show there. And I would say, I want the My Little Pony people to come hang out with us. It's not my thing, but I'm glad they're in my town. And spending money at a business downtown. And that spreads, of course. The bigger the event, the more likely it is to touch surrounding neighborhood areas, right? If the World Cup comes to Baltimore, it ain't just going to be downtown. It's going to be the county. It's going to be other neighboring counties that are impacted financially by something like that. We're smart enough to understand how this works. You say the CIAA, well, it's not for me. Okay, fine, say that. Say it. If you're not a basketball fan, you're not a basketball fan. I can't force you to be. And I certainly don't want to get in your pockets and say, well, go spend money anyway. But I would think about it. I would think about how you can impact this, because something else is going to be for you. And the CIAA, by the way, might be for you, and you just don't know it yet because you haven't been. It's like talking to my 7-year-old, and he tells me there's a food he doesn't like. I don't like apricots. You've never tried one, idiot. You have no idea. Oh, man, I don't like meatloaf. You don't. Trust me, I was 7 once, too. I mean, I know. It's not like I'm making fun of him specifically.
There are few things funnier than calling a 7-year-old an idiot.
Well, he is.
You never have an idiot.
I love him. He's mine. You can't call him an idiot, but I can call him an idiot because he's mine. And he is. He's an idiot. Delicious. Not even things like, I'm like delicious foods. Things, I swear to God, he's like, what's the one recently? He didn't want, was it? Oh my! It drove me nuts.
Smoky thigh wings.
No, he loves. Trust me, he loves smoky thigh wings at Glory Days Grill, glorydaysgrill.com. No, it was. I want to say it was like corn muffins. Mm-hmm. I want to say my wife made chili one night, and she made corn muffins to go along with them. And he was like, "I don't like corn muffins." I'm like, "You are so stupid. Like, you are the dumbest person I've ever met in my life." What is wrong with you? My 4-year-old is a type of deal. Mm-hmm. He thought he had gotten chicken tenders. As it turns out, it was catfish. And I could see immediately that it was catfish once he took a bite of one of them. Mm-hmm. My son, because he thought they were chicken tenders, pounded them. Ate about 5 of them. And then suddenly I'm like, hey, bro, I got some news for you. Them ain't chicken tenders. Them's catfish. And like he's going on about how good it is. And all of a sudden he's like, I like catfish. I'm like, yeah, you do. And if you would just try some other things, you might like some other things too. Dummy! Stupid? I love you. My pride and joy, but you're stupid. Love you so much. 7. Got a long way to go. Got a long way to go with that one. And I would say the same thing. A lot of you might say, like, on the it's Division II basketball tournament, it's not my thing. Until you go feel it and understand the vibe that exists at an event like this. Understand how electric it is. Understand how much life is in the city because of an event like this. And all of a sudden you might be like, wow, maybe I was wrong. Maybe this is for me. Yeah. I would go find out. I would go take a chance. Tickets are quite affordable. Let's make that very clear. This isn't like the Paul McCartney concert where tickets are not affordable at all. But I get it. It's Paul McCartney. I can't afford him, and I bought him anyway. And that's gonna be something I'm gonna have to deal with at some point. My wife doesn't. My wife is not aware of how much money came off the credit card because it's my credit card that only comes to me. And at some point, I'll just have to pay it and hope that she forgets that it's a thing that occurred. I mean, it's gonna be a butt awkward conversation. Oh, by the way, she also is pretending like now that I've got tickets. So I got a buddy that I said you can have the other ticket if you'd like because he gets me tickets to things. Like I had this. And then I get home last night, and she's like, oh, I think I want to go. Like, never in your life have you told me, in fact, this is not a joke. I swear to God, she called him Paul McCartney. Not a joke.
Nice.
She said, I think I want to go see Paul McCartney. You don't have any idea. I spent $530 on 2 tickets. I can't afford this. This is a reckless decision on my part, but I've never seen Paul McCartney in my life, so I have to do it. I have no choice. I've got to do it. We got to be honest about this. The man is turning 80 years old the week after he comes to Baltimore. Our opportunities to do this are getting fewer and further between. This might be it. Certainly, almost guaranteed it's not going to be in Baltimore again. Got to do it. Got to do it. It's going to cost me something else I wanted to do this summer. That's fine. I'll skip going to see Third Eye Blind or something like that, and I'll go see Paul McCartney. Spent this money. She called him Paul McCartney, and she wants me to let her have the other ticket to see Paul McCartney. It costs $265. Do you want to do the math right?
Yeah.
$265 with the fees.
And you don't know his name.
She doesn't know his name. And she wants me to just say, you can have the other ticket. No chance. Zero. None.
My dad,
None. I will sell it to someone who actually cares before I give it to my wife. I love her. Again, that's much like my son. We're having a very interesting conversation. It's not going to come off like I love my family. I very much love my family. No chance I'm giving this other ticket that costs $265 to someone who doesn't know the man's name.
Right.
And one of the biggest icons on the face of the planet. Zero. No chance that's happening. None.
My dad is the king of not knowing people's names.
Okay.
Buck Showalter has always and forever will be Buck Showalter.
That's very weird.
And Brett Favre is Brett Favre.
Well, Brett Favre has a funky name, so I can sort of give a pass for that. Buck Showalter's name is not all that difficult. Like
Brett Favre isn't. I mean, it's not spelled correctly by the way you say
it makes it funky.
But
it's
he calls it Brett Favre.
That's weird. It's weird. I'm not saying it's not weird, but it's not quite as weird as Buck Showalter.
Yeah, or
like
Paul McCartney.
Paul McCartney. She said Paul McCartney. And again, people make mistakes. I understand that. But I literally said to her, like, why are you feigning as though you're some sort of... Do you have any... Like, because I'm, of course, an obsessed Beatles fan. Like, you have any idea how many times I've attempted to, like, suggest you listen to some other Beatles songs and you've just been like, no. She heard there's a big event coming to Baltimore. It's a big... And a bunch of her friends are going to go. And everybody's talking about it. So she wants to be a part of it. She wants to be seen, man. She wants to be... at the event of the summer. She wants to... By the way, I guarantee she's going to want to put on like a stupid hat like she wears to horse races in order to do... She wants to be noticed at this event, at a Paul McCartney concert. No chance. None. When Garth Brooks was supposed to come to the stadium in the fall, I happily bought her tickets. She likes Garth Brooks. I know she likes Garth Brooks. She could name Garth Brooks songs that I can't name. She loves him. That's for her. That's 100% for her. This one, no. I'm putting my... foot down. I mean, I'm going to end up giving the ticket to her, right? Like, it's going to end up going that way. Inevitably, it's going to happen.
If your friend doesn't want it.
I have to put my foot down, and I have to make a stink about it, and I have to rant and rave about it until I inevitably give in and just let her have the other ticket to Paul McCartney because, I don't want to end up divorced. Like, that's inevitably the way that's going to go. She's going to find out how much the ticket cost, and she's going to scream at me and yell bloody murder, and I'm finally just going to say, fine, it's yours. And then I'm going to literally end up going to the show with somebody who doesn't care about Paul McCartney in any way. And she's going to get tired at some point during the night. She's going to realize she has to go to work the next morning because it's a Sunday night show. And she's going to be like, she's going to do the thing where she doesn't ask to leave, but she makes it very clear that she's ready to leave.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you know about this world.
Yeah.
But she's 100% going to do the bit where, like, she starts yawning. And I'm going to say, you all right? And she's going to say, I'm just tired. I woke up at 5 today because of the kids, and I got to be up tomorrow. She's going to start doing that bit and be like, are you trying to say you want to leave? No. I would never say that. I would never say that. Really? Really? You would never say that, huh? Huh? No? You would never say that?
I'm the one that pulls that bit in our household. The wife always wants to stay places way longer than I want to. And then I'm the one who's like, ugh.
Yeah, that's a bad bit. That's a terrible. Just come right out and say it. Just say, I'm ready. Or talk about it beforehand. Let's have
a lot of times it's not an intentional
it.
thing. I don't realize I'm doing it, but I am doing it.
It's one of the most disrespectful things that I deal with my wife. Like, we'll be out with people that I care about that allegedly are her friends, and she'll play this game. And I'll say, now it's a different thing when she gets drunk, because she did at your wedding. When she gets drunk, I gotta get her out. There's gonna be a scene. There's gonna be a problem. But when she's just doing the bit where she's making it very clear she's expired, she's no longer interested in being there, it infuriates me. Like, talk about it ahead of time. Say, hey, if we go to this thing, I'm gonna want to leave by 9:30. Okay, fine. We drive separately. It means you can't drink. It means you got to plan around it. But if you want to leave, I don't want to leave then. You can leave. We drive separately. Let's talk about this like adults instead of doing the bit where, like, yeah, let's go do that, and then make everyone else that's there realize how much you don't want to be there.
Right.
It's bad.
Oh, I don't do that. I don't do that. I don't make other people think I don't want to be there.
No. You don't say it. You're just doing people can see that.
Yeah.
People can see you playing that game. We're not the only ones that are hip to it. Everybody else gets it. Everybody else watches you yawn, watches you make it abundantly clear that you're done, that your night is over. I don't know what just happened there. I'd really like to take a break if we can. I know I said 10:40, but I'd like to take a break. Today's show is also brought to you by Glory Days Grill, as we were talking about with Smoky Thigh Wings. GloryDaysGrill.com is the website. They also bring us Would You Rather Wednesday today, and the scenarios are up on Facebook and Twitter, at Glenn Clark Radio for both. You can check them out there, Glory Days Grill. By Proctor. Proctor's funny. Who doesn't love Paul McCartney or Ringo Starr or George Allison or John Lemon? We have a special signal that it's time to go. Jenna just grabbed. Oh, my word. His wife. Holy crap. That is very aggressive. That's a different conversation, man. If you guys are agreed to it, that's one thing. It's the thing where I don't want to go and you do, and I'm not okay with that. Talk about it ahead of time. We'll come back in. Forrester will join us. It's Glenn Clark Radio. Sports fans, the wait is over. The all-new FanDuel Sportsbook is now open at Live Casino and Hotel in Hanover, Maryland. This is your chance to win big right in your own backyard. Bet on every sport with self-service kiosks and watch all of the action from the best seat in the house. Make every moment more at the all-new FanDuel Sportsbook at Live Casino and Hotel in Hanover. Please play responsibly. Gambling problem? Please call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit mdgamblinghelp.org.
That first sip. That first bite. Start your day off right with a delicious breakfast at Royal Farms. Choose from a fantastic selection of fresh Royal Farms breakfast sandwiches and top it off with a rich hot cup of the freshest coffee in the world. At Royal Farms, breakfast is available day and night. It's the freshest breakfast in the world. Real fresh, real fast. Royal Farms.
After being virtual in 2021, the CIAA Men's and Women's Basketball Tournament is headed to Charm City this February 22nd through 26th. The CIAA is an event that has become a celebration of family, culture, and accomplishments that uplift and strengthen the African American community. See the excitement in person as some of the best college basketball in the country comes to Baltimore's Royal Farms Arena with the CIAA Men's and Women's Conference Tournament. Get your tickets now at CIAAtournament.org. That's CIAAtournament.org.
The newest edition of PressBox is available now. On the cover, we celebrate the 20th anniversary of Maryland men's basketball's 2002 NCAA Tournament Championship, as Gary Williams reflects on how the program rose from the ashes of NCAA sanctions to the pinnacle of the sport, and why his perspective of the title run has changed now 2 decades later. Plus, Juan Dixon, Lonnie Baxter, and the rest of the team relive the moments that ultimately led them to cutting down the nets in Atlanta. PressBox is available for free at over 500 area locations, including including 60 Royal Farms stores. And you can always find the entire edition, as well as the best daily coverage of the Orioles, Ravens, and Terps at PressBoxOnline.com.
The Toyota Tacoma comes in a wide range of models and trim lines. You can choose the perfect Toyota to reflect your unique personality and driving habits. Check out buyatoyota.com for deals on new Tacomas from your local Toyota dealer today.
If you miss anything, don't forget that you can find whole shows later on Spotify, Apple, or Amazon Podcasts. It's Glenn Clark Radio.
I'm all over the place this morning. I apologize for that. I'm just scatterbrained. There's a backstory there, which is that we were supposed to do something before the show, and then it got moved, and there's a lot going on. So I apologize to that, but deal with it. It's Glenn Clark Radio. I'm Glenn. He's Paul. Today's show is also brought to you by Underdog Fantasy Football. Why are you not playing Underdog Fantasy Football? So much fun. You can't bet on your phone or your computer yet in the state of Maryland, but you can feel like you're betting when you play Underdog. Download the app right now. When you make your first deposit, we'll match it up to $100 when you use the code PRESSBOX. And yes, you're saying football season's over, Glenn. What the heck? But basketball's back on Thursday. Hockey's still going on. And we have reason to think we're making progress towards there being baseball again. And those are all things you can play with Underdog Fantasy Football until football season comes back around. Again, UnderdogFantasy.com. Use the code PRESSBOX. We match up to $100 on that first deposit. He is Drew Forrester, drewsmorningdish.com, and he's back with us now here on GCR. What's going on, man? How are you?
Yes, sir. I'm here. I'm rolling. What's up?
Yeah.
What's up?
What's the highest amount? So you and I got into a tussle last night. What is the largest dollar figure you've ever paid for any event whatsoever?
Oh boy, what's the largest? Well,
because
that
I'm
night
assuming
in Providence is.
What? No.
is that
I mean the ticket. I don't mean the things that surround the event.
Does that night in Providence count?
No. I mean the actual. I assume it's the Masters, right? Like, have you spent more money on something than you've spent on the Masters?
Yeah. Well, on a single one-off event, it would be the Masters. I've spent a lot more than that going to Pebble Beach.
Well, okay, but you're going there to golf. You're not going there to watch other people golf.
I would say the Masters.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's the most you've ever paid for a Masters to get in? For you personally, for one person to get in, what's the most you've ever paid?
I'll text that to you.
Oh, God. Oh, no. Oh, my.
No, I think we paid $480 or $500.
Are you, okay, the first time you did it, were you at all worried that, like, as much, I know you're obsessed with this. Were you at all worried that, like, it was going to set the standard too high? That what you were going to...
You know, it's interesting you ask that, because I've said this to a lot of people, and I'm actually I have a client that is trying to... I have a client I'm putting together a Pebble Beach trip for, and one of the things when I presented it to them was, like, I've done a lot of things in my life that I was really excited about that didn't meet the hype.
Okay. Give me an example of that. Give me something that you were super excited about that either didn't meet the hype or you walked away saying it wasn't worth the dollar amount that I paid for it.
Well, this one I wouldn't have paid for, and maybe this is a little jaded by the fact that we're 5 of us in a hotel room. But the Super Bowl never met the hype to me.
Okay.
The Super Bowl never really met the hype.
But the only way it could meet the hype is if, like, did you feel differently about it in New Orleans at all?
You know, I don't know if I did because we were working. Maybe I would have if I would have been there as a fan.
Right.
But I just thought in general, and you know what this is like when you see these people in the flesh, other than Derek Jeter, you always come away largely thinking that guy's a horse's ass, right? Like,
okay.
For the most part, when you go in these locker rooms, you wind up leaving there going,
yeah, right. That's a lot. Some of them, yes.
But right. Right. So
you didn't feel that way about Gary Stills. You wanted to marry him.
Gary Stills was a good man. You watch what you say about Gary Stills.
I agree, by the way. I like it.
But you just, and this all goes back to the whole thing, like, it doesn't meet the hype. Like, when when I met J.J. Hardy, it didn't meet the hype.
No, yeah, that was rough. That was a rough day.
Right,
That was.
right.
I think we've talked about that story. It was a rough day.
Right. But in general, I think these things get so blown up. And as an example, I've always thought the Super Bowl got really blown up. But then when you're there, you're like, it's just a bunch of people running around wanting to be seen.
Right.
They don't even need the football game, right?
Yeah.
So so Pebble Beach, when I went, because of the cost, and I took a group there in 18 or 19. When I took this group, I was concerned about it as a whatever you want to call me, as an entrepreneur trying to do these events, golf events. I was worried. I'm like, man, this is a $4,800 a person gig here, and I got to make sure it goes over well. But I also know that the only two things that really matter to these people are the golf and the weather, and I don't control either of them.
Sure.
Right.
Sure.
I can make the dinner reservations. I can make sure the vans are all there to pick everybody. I can do all the work. But if the golf course sucks and the weather sucks, that ruins it.
Right.
Well, both of those things worked out, but the golf part of it wildly exceeded my expectations.
Okay.
It was so good and lived up to the hype. And so now I'm connecting that with Augusta is one of the other things that totally lived up to the hype. And if you, in any way, shape, or form, love golf, and I guess there are a lot of people who have gone to Augusta who kind of like it. If you love golf, you have to go see it, because by seeing it, you'll never watch it the same way again on TV.
Okay.
And so those two things really, really, really met the hype. And I'll give you another one that didn't.
Right.
And you might have even been with me. Maybe you weren't. I don't know. When I saw Jay-Z at the arena, didn't meet the hype.
Really? We did go to that together, by the way. I had a great time.
Didn't meet the hype.
I also don't. If I remember correctly, at the time, this is before concerts became completely unaffordable. Like, I didn't think those tickets were like $50 or something like that. I don't even think they were all that expensive. So that didn't factor into my ability to enjoy it at all, right? Like, I don't know. I was broke at the time. I was very young.
See, all of these things get formulated in our heads.
Yes.
By what we see on TV.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
That's the only way we really get to exposed to it. You see Augusta on TV.
Right.
You watch the Masters. You're like, damn, that 13th hole looks pretty wild. Then when you go see it in person, you see 18 and you see how far uphill it is, and you hear these guys are hitting 8 irons into this hole. And it's 140 playing 165. You're like, man, this is a hard hole.
Right. Right.
You don't sense that until you're there.
Yeah, sure.
And I think for the most part, like concerts, one of the greatest compliments you can ever give a band or a musician is it sounded just like the album.
Okay, but is that what you're looking for at a concert? I think
No,
I'm
saying, but from the standpoint of like
that's
when
your
you
standard. It's interesting.
When you hear the music,
right?
I've been to a lot of. I saw the Counting Crows mailed in a bunch of times. I've been to a bunch of shows where you're like, dude, I feel your dread for being here, right? Things living up. I would challenge it, and I'm just saying this in general. Kids live up to the hype.
Yeah.
Right.
100%. Everything everyone ever told me about how your life was going to change and how right, all of it 100% true. Yes.
No doubt. Kids totally live up to the hype.
Yep.
There is nothing at all that comes even remotely close to having your own child.
Yep.
Like it's hard to explain, right?
Yep.
You can hurt me. You can put your finger on me. You can do anything you want to me. You do something to my kid.
Yep.
We're in trouble.
We just did this bit where I was calling my son an idiot, and then I said, "But I kill you if you called him an idiot." Right? Like, that's the way it goes.
Right. But so things in general, this is such an interesting conversation because I think in our life, far more things haven't lived up to the hype than have. And a lot of it is based on your expectations because of what you see. Not what you've experienced, but what you've seen.
Do you at all alter your? So I bring this up in the context, and I'm trying to separate this because like you don't like the Beatles. It's fine. You don't like the Beatles. It's your world. I don't care. There's things that you like that I'm not into.
Right.
But I have never seen Paul McCartney in my life. I need to see Paul McCartney, so I spent an exorbitant amount of money. in order to get tickets for Paul McCartney yesterday. What I'm doing is I'm preparing myself for the man is going to turn 80 years old the week after this show. There's no way it can be the wonderful performance that maybe I would have gotten 30 years ago. I'm preparing myself for that and just sort of saying I am acknowledging I'm spending this money merely for the opportunity to say that I saw this man perform before. That was no longer an option. Do you ever do that to yourself where you try to go into something and just say, look, to your point, as long as it doesn't rain today, I'm going to choose that this was like. Do you do that when you get ready to go to something or something you spend a bunch of money on?
Yeah, 100%. And I have a great solution for you, and this is totally serious. And I do this now. People say to me now all the time, how many times have you been to Augusta? I'm like, 11. 11?
Right.
Why would you go 11 times? Well, 7 or 8 of them I did for business, but I go and treat it just like a museum. So I can go down to the Museum of the Bible. I've been there twice in the last 2 years. I see the same stuff. I saw the same stuff a month ago down there in D.C. that I saw 2 years ago. Right? It's a museum.
Fair. That's right. I love the American Visionary Art Museum, but it doesn't. I would go and it would be the same things. You're 100% right.
Right. So when you go to the Smithsonian, you're looking at the same dinosaur relics that were there when you were there 15 years ago.
Right. Right.
And they might have 4 new pieces, and it's not that dissimilar to any other museum where they might add things or take things away. But I went down there and took the exact same train route to the Museum of the Bible, went in, did the whole thing, and nothing was different. But that's kind of the way I treat Augusta. Nothing's different. Well, a couple of the holes are different, but they're not. That's not why I'm going. I go because I like going with people that have never been. I like being part of that experience with them, and I just like being around golf. So what I would say to you is treat McCartney like it's a museum.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just going to go.
Yeah, we'll see it.
I don't need to be blown away.
Yep. But
I don't need to be blown away. I just want to go see him.
Yep.
And I always say that, again, people always go every time you see Springsteen, 27. Really? Why? Because every time I go, I always assume it's the last time.
Sure.
I mean, that's the truth.
Yep.
When I saw him for the 23rd time up in the Veterans Stadium, whatever the hell that thing's called in Philly, I said, this has got to be it.
And then you saw him 5 more times. Right, I get it.
Yeah,
I
right.
get it. I completely get
back,
it. Right, 100%.
And so you just kind of keep going. And I think if you just go in, and this is such a funny thing you brought this up. When I went the last time to see Bruce, I took a group of 120 women to see Adele in Philly.
Okay.
I know I told this story.
Oh, and
Springsteen was playing the baseball stadium the same night.
And she was at the arena. Right.
She was in Philly.
Yep.
I took 120 women up there for Adele.
Yeah.
I walked across the street with no ticket. A guy said, my best friend from Chicago was supposed to come in. His flight got delayed. He's not coming. I'll sell you this ticket. It's $80. Give me $40.
Right.
And I literally sat in what is in the baseball stadium would be the right field corner of the stadium with no one around me, 150 yards away from the stage, and literally just sat there and listened to it. Like, I had no interest in going up and trying to see the band.
Right.
I just wanted to be there.
Yeah, sure. You're in the same city as Bruce Springsteen, so you're going to go. I get
it's $40.
I get it.
And if I don't do that, then I go sit in the bus at the stadium with the bus driver, or I score a $12 ticket to go in and see Adele, and I just didn't want to do that. So I went and sat there, but I went in with no expectation. I just wanted to hear him sing on the road.
In hindsight, that might have been the play because you'll never be able to get into a see Adele at that price ever again in your life.
But I mean, I just went in there with
I get it.
No way. I didn't even go sit in my seat.
Right. Just
I don't even know where the seat was.
Right. Just go watch. Just go be there. Go be a part. I understand. I understand exactly what you're talking about.
So I think that's your best.
Yep.
You and the other 7,500 people that are going to be there. That's your best thing you could do.
That's what we're going to do. All right, Forrester's here. DrewsMorningDish.com. Hey, I can't go.
By the way, there's not a game, right?
What do you mean there's
it's
not
just
a game?
show. There's not a baseball
they're not
game
doing a
with it.
game. Stop it.
No, I'm asking.
It's Paul McCartney, man.
I'm saying there's not a baseball game at 2 and then the show.
No, very much not the case. Very much not. You couldn't help yourself. Hey,
I don't know.
I can't.
I
gotta get to LaMonte Wade here in a little bit, so we can't go on forever. I need you to give me the shortened version. What does all of this mean for Phil Mickelson the next time we see him? Everything that's happened over the course of the last week? When do we see him again? Where do we see him again? What does all of this mean? And are we at the point where we have to start questioning if the Saudi thing is even going to happen or not?
Well, I would say it's a huge question as to whether or not it's going to happen. I don't think they have any. They don't really have any players. They've never really had any players, but they don't have any marquee players at all. So I think there's a question if it ever happens. He was very veiled with his whole thing about I need to take some time away. I don't know what that means. I don't know if that means a month. He's never played. I shouldn't say this because I don't really have the record in front of me. It feels like he's never played Sawgrass particularly well. I don't know that event matters to him other than the prize money's great, which we all know he cares about. I don't ever see him missing the Masters, particularly given that at his age he could still win. Mm-hmm. Easy answer is I think 50% chance you see him at Sawgrass, 100% chance you see him at Augusta. What's it mean for him? I think this. Kevin Van Valkenburg and I were talking about this a couple weeks ago. I think this is an interesting thing for him because the people that really like him aren't going to change their direction because of this. And the guys that don't like him are just saying, we told you so.
Right. And
I don't think – I've always liked him. I think this has been a terrible look for him. I just think it's been an awful look. I think it was destined to be an awful look for him from the beginning. I think it shows a lot of things about him that people have said that sort of kind of you almost wanted to ignore. And now you're like, yeah, Phil's a prick. Now we know it. So, I don't think he certainly didn't expect the Shipnook thing to be published. I think that's for sure.
Okay.
Those things that he said, which I do believe Shipnook, who's obviously has a huge, he's had a great career and he's very respected. There's no way at all that those comments were off the record and that he stuck it up Phil's backside.
Right.
That possibility doesn't exist.
Right.
Now, the timing of this is interesting. That Shipnook chose this time to release this through his new venture that he's doing. But it's not a good look for Phil, that's for sure. I mean, is it a career tarnisher? I don't think anything that happens off the course can ever really tarnish what you did on the course.
Right. But I mean, it's
not good.
The guy literally won the PGA Championship a year ago, which is insane.
Which is crazy, right?
It's nuts. Let's just say, to your point, he's in contention at the Masters on Sunday. A year ago, it was bedlam when he was in contention at the PGA. I mean, it was insanity, the response that he got. What would the response be if Phil Mickelson is in contention on Sunday at the Masters? Would golf fans care about this?
Yeah, I don't think that, and that's why I said earlier, I don't think that's changed all that much because, frankly, I'm not sure the general mass of people who follow golf are really that I don't want to say sophisticated because that's all people have such a negative connotation. I don't think people care about the minutia that much. Okay. I really don't.
Okay.
Like, people that love Phil, if Phil's in contention, they're going to be cheering for Phil. And if Phil's going up against Spieth, the other people that love Spieth are going to be rooting for Spieth. I think what this has done is it's really hurt him corporately.
Oh, clearly.
And I think, obviously, you saw yesterday the KPMG people. They're like, yeah, we don't really want to be part of this.
We're going to pass, right.
And I think it's hurt him more with the players. And I don't know.
But did they really like him to begin with?
That's my point.
Right.
I don't know how much worse it could get in general. Like, and look, I saw this firsthand. and it doesn't matter. I'm not going to go into it today. But I could tell you as an outsider walking into the locker room last year in Omaha, I can definitely tell you the guys on the senior tour that aren't liked.
Right.
I can tell you that.
Right.
I know who they are because I saw them. And I saw them
look, man,
sitting by themselves.
They can't all be Chi-Chi, obviously.
Right. But I saw them sitting by themselves. I saw them with no name next to them, their name on the practice round sheet. I saw them chipping and putting by themselves and not having three guys over there holding court with them. I know who's not liked.
Right.
And I'm an outsider. So imagine what it's like inside when you know all of this stuff about Phil, and you've been telling your friends for years who like him,
yeah, right.
Yeah, not so much.
Yep.
And now this happens.
Kind of gives you some ammo. Yeah.
So, but I think overall, the people that liked him are still going to like him. I don't think his best golf days. I still think he can win.
That's nuts.
He can't win with the regularity that he won with 10 years ago.
Right.
But he could still win.
It's crazy. That is just insane. All right. Before I let you go, let's play Would You Rather Wednesday. Let me get at least 2 of these in really quickly because then we got to talk to LaMonte Wade. Would You Rather Wednesday brought to you by Glory Days Grill. Number 1, would you rather let's just assume the lockout ends next week. The first announcement that the Orioles make after the lockout is over is either A, that they've signed Carlos Rodon, surprisingly, to a 3-year, $55 million deal, kind of stunning everybody, right? One of arguably the top pitcher available. Or the first announcement they make when the lockout's over is that they're doing another concert this summer. It's all of the performers from the halftime show, and they're giving you, Drew Forrester, or you, Paul Valley, or you, whoever, free third-row tickets.
Oh, my. Third row?
Yep.
Second row, I would probably take the music.
Right, that's going to be a big difference. I get that. I mean, how dare you?
I would. We need baseball players.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
We need baseball players.
Okay.
I can go to YouTube and watch any of those guys, and I got all their CDs in my car. I'm good. We need baseball players.
All right.
Yeah, we need baseball.
Oh, you're a baseball sick.
No, I was 50-50 on this because that would be a hell of a show to go to.
This is the reason I framed it the way that I did is I can make the argument I'm not really sure how much Carlos Rodon for 3 years really does for the Orioles.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm just not really sure that that's going to be a difference in any way. So because of that, I can my selfish desire, I can sort of put ahead of it because I'm not really sure how much their trajectory changes with 3 years of Carlos Rodon.
Right, but at least it shows that they have a willingness to spend that kind of
That's
money.
the best argument that somebody I think can make for why it is they select the Carlos Rodon.
Now, if you throw in that band from Brooklyn, what are they called, The Walking Dead? What's the name of that band that we liked?
The Walking Dead? The Lone Bellow?
The Lone Bellow. If you throw them in.
What a random. That's the difference. That's the difference.
If you throw in the Lone Bellow, then maybe.
Don't get me wrong. I love the Lone Bellow, man. I would go see them every day of the week. But what a random choice to add onto the list. The Lone Bellow. If you don't know the Lone Bellow, I would dive in today. I would start with it. Drew and I were at the Super Bowl party. He's like, "Who the hell is this band?" I've been going on about them for years. It's like, "Who is this band?" I'm like, "Yeah, they're decent, aren't they? They're not bad."
I went to see him in York at a church in York.
We did. That's exactly right. And then I'll give you this one too. Would you rather? Did you hear about the story of the skier who had a very unfortunate occurrence?
The deer?
No, the skier at the Olympics.
Oh, the skier. I didn't.
You're not familiar with the story of Remy Lindholm. Remy Lindholm was competing in the 50-kilometer mass start race in cross-country skiing.
Okay.
Which had to be cut down to 30 kilometers due to the weather because it was quite cold outside. There were some weather problems.
Okay.
He had to give up after about an hour and 16 minutes because he was suffering from a frozen penis.
Oh. Oh my.
Making it worse,
my.
This is the second time in his life that he's suffered
I don't want to ask
from
this,
a frozen penis.
I don't want to ask this, but I feel like I want to know for some weird reason.
Yeah.
How do you know that it's frozen?
I don't think that that's something that there would be a lot of ambiguity about, if I'm being honest with you, Drew. I'm pretty sure you would know at some point that what you were experiencing went beyond the state of cold to a medical issue. I think we would all know that. So I'll present it this way. Would you rather, in either scenario, the good news...
The answer is,
yeah.
the answer is I don't want a frozen penis.
Hang on.
Okay.
You're being given, a friend of yours, and I use friend in quotes, is giving you a winning $2 million lottery ticket. Congratulations.
I'll
Giving
take
it to you. But in exchange, either you're going to have to deal with 2 times in your life, and you're not going to know when, it's going to be unannounced, you are going to end up suffering from frozen penis syndrome.
Oh, my God. I can't believe you're asking this.
Or
you know the answer.
Or you have to give up a toe. And no, you don't get to choose which toe it is.
I mean, I can't even believe you're asking this question.
Yeah?
I've had kidney stones twice.
Yes.
There is no possible way a frozen penis is worse than kidney stones. Give me the $2 million and freeze me.
I don't know, dude.
There is no possible way that a frozen penis can be more uncomfortable than kidney stones.
I'm pretty sure.
It ain't happening.
I'm pretty sure. I'm just saying take the toe and be done with it. I'm pretty sure.
But listen, let me just end it on this.
Yeah.
If you want a toe.
Yeah, I can get you right.
I'll get you a toe by 3 o'clock.
Correct. All right. Drew'sMorningDish.com. Anything I should plug for you?
After this episode?
Right. Yeah. Whatever we just did here. All right.
No.
Thanks, pal. Talk to you next
Poor
week.
skier.
Yeah. Oh, I feel terrible for the man. No question about it.
Jeez.
All right, buddy. See you. Thank you. Drew Forrester joins us every Wednesday. What are you doing, Paul? What's your?
I would have to say take a toe.
Yeah, I think I'm
take a toe because there's nothing that says that after I get the $2 million, I can't spend some of it on a prosthetic or something. Depending on if you take my middle toe, that's not like a big deal. Now,
I agree with that. I agree that now the problem is again, you don't get to choose the toe. Like this friend, again, not much of a friend, is going to get to choose which toe it is. And it was just pointed out by Paul and Ovi Lando. A reminder, if you've been watching Peacemaker, Vigilante said that the pinky toe is the most important toe for balance. If you remember that scene in Peacemaker where there was some torture that was going on. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I mean, I don't know, but I just feel like I would rather never in my life experience said phenomenon, and I could live without a toe.
Can I take the toe and have it sewed back on after?
No, you do not get to keep your toe.
No,
your toe is gone.
Takes it and puts it on display in his home.
It's his toe now. Yes.
It's his toe.
Yeah. In fact, he needed a toe, and that's the reason. He now has your toe.
Okay.
That's the way that it goes.
He has my toe. I'll use some of the millions and go get a prosthetic.
All right. Very good. Today's show is also brought to you by your local Toyota dealer, buyatoyota.com. Make the most out of every day in a Toyota RAV4, available in hybrid or gas-only models. A RAV4 can get you where you want to go in style. Check out buyatoyota.com for deals on new RAV4s from your local Toyota dealer today. LaMonte Wade, pride of St. Paul's, the University of Maryland. Massive season for the Giants last year. We're going to catch up with him next. Glenn Clark Radio. After being virtual in 2021, the CIAA Men's and Women's Basketball Tournament is headed to Charm City this February 22nd through 26th. The CIAA is an event that has become a celebration of family, culture, and accomplishments that uplift and strengthen the African American community. See the excitement in person as some of the best college basketball in the country comes to Baltimore's Royal Farms Arena with the CIAA Men's and Women's Conference Tournament. Get your tickets now at CIAAtournament.org. That's CIAAtournament.org.
Sports betting has come to Maryland, and we're ready to help you win some money. Tune in for Simply the Bets with Glenn Clark and Paul Valley every Wednesday morning at 11:30. FanDuel Sportsbook GM Bruce Billick and VSiN's Aaron Oster join the guys every week to give you all the info you need and even to offer a few winners. So come win some money with us on Simply the Bets every Wednesday at 11:30 a.m. Brought to you by the FanDuel Sportsbook at Live Casino and Hotel Maryland. Listen at PressBoxOnline.com/radio and watch at YouTube.com/PressBoxOnline.
Glory Days Grill's winter seasonal menu is back with comfort classics like their house-made meatloaf and short rib grilled cheese. It also features the center-cut sirloin with grilled shrimp, the char-grilled pork tenderloin, grilled meatloaf sandwich, smoky thigh wings with Alabama barbecue sauce, and a Brussels and bacon appetizer. All of these items pair well with Devil's Backbone 8-Point IPA or their anniversary IPA brewed by Devil's Backbone. And try their seasonal cocktails, Blood Orange Bourbon Cider, Apple Ginger Mule, and Captain's Hot Cider. Find out more and get your order in today at glorydaysgrill.com. Great food, good sports.
It's another cold winter here in Baltimore, but this time there's no hot stove to warm you up. Hi, I'm Paul Valley, and while there may be no activity in the world of baseball, I'll still be here every week with my co-host Zach Goodman to give you all the latest in the CBA negotiations as teams look to get back on the field in time for spring training. You can watch us live every Saturday from 10 a.m. to noon at youtube.com/PressBoxOnline or facebook.com/PressBoxSports and listen at PressBoxOnline.com/radio. So tune in every Saturday from 10 a.m. to noon for the latest in baseball coverage right here on the Bat Around.
We can't imagine why you'd want to, but you can watch GCR live. It's at facebook.com/PressBoxSports. And try to guess whether these guys are wearing any pants.
The 51 self-service kiosks at Live Casino and Hotels FanDuel Sportsbook are open 24/7, so whatever it is that you want to bet on, no matter what time it's happening, where in the world, you can go watch and do it there in the FanDuel Sportsbook because those kiosks are open 24/7. It is always the best place to be for big events, and you can still win your share of $10,000 right now when you sign up for Live Rewards Plus. New Live Rewards members can win up $20 of free play. Again, get the Live Casino and Hotel in Hanover and the FanDuel Sportsbook in order to find out more. Yes, John Little Rock, I completely agree with you. Forrester's McCartney and Beatles bit, it's very embarrassing. And I can't imagine going to a concert and wanting it to sound like a record. I want it to be a different experience altogether. Now, I don't want it to sound worse, for sure. Like, there are bands that you're like, you sound better on the record. That's not a good thing whatsoever.
Drew has that take on the Beatles, but heaven forbid that I say I don't care for Bruce Springsteen. He came after me. For my take on that,
he came after you. I don't understand.
Like on Twitter, like I put this thing up about how everybody loves Bruce Springsteen.
Don't ever take. You need to know never to take Drew Forrester seriously. You got to know that. Like you have to understand that. Never, ever, ever.
No,
take him seriously.
I generally don't. I just think it's odd that he has a take of he doesn't care for Paul McCartney and the Beatles. But if I don't like Bruce Springsteen,
everything he's doing is shtick. Like literally, that's why it's very difficult to parse through and get to the part where like we stop doing shtick for a second because he constantly thinks. By the way, and I apologize, Proctor. You're right. This would have been a wonderful response. Proctor says, Drew, you can tell if it's frozen if your tongue sticks to it, like in the Christmas Story. Go try it. It's really good, and I am sorry that I missed that. Very, very good. All right, we had to do this a little bit earlier on because of his schedule. He's still training and trying to get ready for what he hopes is going to be a season that starts very soon. But a great opportunity. I've been wanting to do this for a little while because he had a monster season a year ago. Baltimore's own, St. Paul's own, LaMonte Wade joining us here on GCR. Well, I know how much our next guest is looking forward to baseball getting back underway because, man, what a special season he had a year ago out in San Francisco. He is, of course, the pride of St. Paul's and the University of Maryland. It is a pleasure to welcome back into the program Late Night Lamont, the man himself. LaMonte Wade is with us on GCR. Lamont, it's Glenn back in Baltimore. It's great to chat with you, man. Thank you for taking the time for us.
Oh, thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Dude, it's so good to catch up with you. Can you, put into words this magical thing that you got to experience a year ago? And, was there a moment for you where holy crap, is this real?
Yeah, no, it was definitely a special season, it was definitely quite the ride, starting off in AAA and then eventually getting called up and, doing everything I could to try and have an impact and contribute to the team, the best team in baseball at the time. It was really fun, and I look forward to definitely getting back, like you said. But, no, it was definitely a great time and definitely a lot of hard work went into it, but I feel like we had a great group of guys and it made it that much easier and more enjoyable.
I want to talk more about that hard work because I got a sense for where it might come from. But let me start with it. Did you know in your heart that this thing, this pinch hitting thing, this clutch moment, did you always know that you were the guy that had the clutch gene that they talk about? Or did that even take you a little bit by surprise? Did you not know maybe that was something that you were so good at?
Honestly, throughout the season, I paid no mind to it and paid no attention to it whatsoever. Just so locked into the moment. But now that you look back on it, just very appreciative of Cap, having trusted me in those situations and allowing me the opportunity to get those hits and those opportunities. And also got to thank my teammates for putting me in those types of situations. So definitely didn't know. Wasn't expecting anything like that, but for it to happen, it definitely, it was definitely a great time too.
When you were growing up here in Baltimore, did you play any other sports, Lamont?
Yes, I play basketball.
Okay, so when you were playing basketball, were you the guy that liked to have the ball in your hands at the end of the game? Like, did you want to be the guy taking the last shot?
Basketball, honestly, I was pretty good on defense.
Okay.
I would score a decent amount, but my thing was I was getting most of my points off of steals and defense and stuff like that, and rebounds. So I never really had no plays at the end of the game drawn up for me, but I definitely wouldn't have been opposed to taking the
Well,
shots
sure.
if I had it.
I'm thinking in hindsight, now that we know what we know about you, you might have been really good in those situations.
Yeah, basketball was definitely my first sport. I mean, growing up, I definitely loved basketball. Just eventually, baseball really took over for me and went that direction. But I always loved the game of basketball.
We're chatting with LaMonte Wade here on GCR. So, Lamont, I was chatting with your former hitting coach at Maryland, Matt Swope, and he was giving me some really good insight. I think we know some of the struggles that you had gone through when you had gotten up in Minnesota and, those first couple opportunities. How much do you think the work that you had put in with Matt and coming back home really helped correlate to that success that you had last season in San Francisco?
Absolutely. I mean, ever since I went to the University of Maryland, me and Matt had a great relationship. Always respected him and his opinion. As a former player and a former Terp, definitely. So never lost contact with him. As I went to pro ball, we always talk and check in. And then I started coming back to work out at the University of Maryland, hitting with him after the season, after the 2020 season. With the Twins, just really sat down, had a heart-to-heart with them, let them know that, something's got to change. I just, need to be more efficient, need to, more consistency and try and do anything. I would open to do anything to, try and make it work to, become a better hitter. And, we took that whole off season and we kind of really completely overhauled the swing and everything and the thought and the mind process behind everything. And was fortunate and very grateful for the season that I had last year. And I thought, that's definitely a testament to Matt and all the work that we put in. And really, the way that that's who he is. Just a great teacher and a great hitting coach who definitely knows what he's talking about. I put my complete trust in him and continue to work out with him every off season since. So
that's really cool.
It's definitely been great.
Could I ask you, like, again, assume I'm like a 5-year-old, like I'm that dumb, Lamont. When you talk about changing your swing, what does that actually functionally mean? Like, what are you standing in a different way? Is your timing different? What does it functionally mean?
Yeah, so definitely. So it started with the stance. We changed up the stance. Before I was, kind of crouched down, opened up stance. We definitely, the first thing we did was stand straight up, and put the bat in a different positioning, kind of more close to in front of me instead of like cocked behind my back, usual. And then from there, it was really the biggest thing I would say is, the thought of where I was attacking the baseball. I was so used to seeing it deep, seeing the ball deep, and he got me completely out of that. Attack the ball out front of the plate, and that was really the biggest key. And I really say that's how I think I was able to square baseballs up more consistently and kind of hit from a little bit more power than before, not letting the balls get on me and really kind of attacking the ball out in front and allowing myself to have a better chance to drive the baseball.
What's it been like for you? I know you've been back these last couple of weeks and spending time as they've been getting ready for their season. You kind of don't know what's going on with your own season. What's it been like for you working now with these guys? Obviously, you're still trying to perfect your craft and get ready for your own thing. But being around these younger guys, what's that experience been like for you and trying to help them a little bit?
It's been great. The guys have been very welcoming. I feel like they've got a good team. I mean, I watched them for the 3 games this weekend, which was great. They're all a great start. I'm looking forward to going out to watch them play against UMBC tomorrow. But the guys have been great. They've been working really hard. They're listening to their coaching. They have great coaches, starting with Coach Vaughn, obviously Coach Swope, and my man Anthony Papio, who was my roommate actually when I was at the University of Maryland. They're all doing great, unbelievable job.
That's cool.
And I'm proud of everything that they're doing. got a very good team, and they're very receptive when I talk to them. And they also bring up good questions. I try and answer the best I can. But no, the guys have been great, and I'm looking forward to what they do this season.
That's awesome. And obviously, the groundwork has been laid for this program and how things have changed so significantly, right? Like it's pretty clear. You mentioned what they did down at Baylor this weekend, which is just almost unreal, right? Walking down there and sweeping them. That's really incredible. Lamont, I noticed that you put Matt's kind of business bio in your Twitter bio, right? And like I was like, man, is it like an official partnership? And he was saying, dude, I think Lamont just did that to be like nice and try to give me some love. Can you tell me about that? Because I feel like that's a really big deal for someone who is as visible as you are to say, hey, I wanna pass it forward or push it forward for somebody that's been helping me out.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I feel like it's no secret that everything that's Matt done for me has really helped my career. I mean, I probably wouldn't be on the phone with you talking right now if it wasn't for Matt. So I have no shame in putting him out there like that, and I hope that it brings him, the well-deserved publicity that he deserves, because he deserves all the credit. And I feel like it has been doing pretty good. I mean, he's been guys have always asked me, what's my philosophy and what everything, and I always say it's not mine, it's Matt. So and then I try and I guide him to direct them to him, and they go from there. But I have no shame in saying that, and that's also no shade on Coach Ecker and JV with the Giants right now, Justin Beal, because those guys have helped me tremendously a lot too throughout the season, and those guys are great. I mean, obviously, Coach Donnie Ecker, has gone to the Rangers now. I mean, it's just a testament to all the hard work and the good work that he does, and it shows you the type of coach that he is. So, but no, I definitely never shade away from giving the credit where it's due to the guys who've helped me along the way, and I'm definitely appreciative of them and grateful for them.
Well, I'm only a little bit worried as somebody who really roots for Maryland that this might mean that he gets swooped up by someone else and ends up as like a big league hitting coach here soon. But he deserves it. Yeah, I get it. He deserves it. There's no doubt. Just another couple minutes here with LaMonte Wade from the San Francisco Giants. Lamont, did you ever doubt yourself? Did you ever, as you were going through struggles and look, I think we all know baseball age catches up on you quickly, right? Like you're not 23 anymore.
No.
Did you ever doubt yourself? Did you ever wonder, like, if it just wasn't going to stick for you in the big leagues? Did you ever go through any of those types of feelings?
I feel like the season's definitely always a roller coaster with your emotions. I do my best to try and keep them in check, but you're right. I mean, failure and doubt always kind of try and creep into your mind. But I feel like I did a pretty good job of shedding that away. And, really looking at myself at the end of the season, like I said, sitting down talking to Matt about what I really want and what I think I can do. And I always had belief in myself, and knew it was in there. I just really needed the guidance. And Matt was, is still that guidance for me. And I was just so grateful that that he's been helping me, and I've been able to, put it to actual work. So, but no, I would definitely say never really didn't doubt that I couldn't do it. I just really needed to sit down and really, put my mind to it, and just really kind of come to realization that something needed to change.
You were around a lot of incredible people out there in San Francisco, but Buster Posey stands out to me, and I saw you tweet about him when he retired. What did that time around? I mean, this is a Hall of Famer. This is an icon in the game of baseball. What was that time like for you being around him? What did you learn? What did you pick up in that short time that you were able to spend around Buster Posey?
Like you said, like you started off, that was such a great locker room, and it was just full of, veteran guys, veteran leadership guys who have done it for a while and have succeeded at the highest levels. You got World Series champions in there, MVPs in there. But like you said, the one who stands out is Buster, who, like you said, first ballot Hall of Famer in my eyes, no doubt.
No doubt.
And he just, even just from the baseball side, just the human side, of Buster is what I really appreciated, going in there every single day in the locker room, being able to hang around him and just really, watch what he does, like the way he carries himself, his routine, the way he interacts with the fans, the way he talks to people, just everything he does is first class, and, just with the utmost respect. And we're going to miss Buster, but Buster will always be around, and obviously will always be welcome in the locker room. And I'm sure he'll be around at some point. And definitely look forward to seeing him again. And but no, he definitely meant a lot to me in that clubhouse. And what a career! I mean, I can't wait to see him go into the Hall of Fame. I think it'd be really good for him.
All that dude ever did was win, man. Like, it's just amazing how, like, when he was around, winning came with him. It was wild to see that. Lamont, can you correct me if I'm wrong? Did you got to come back and play in Baltimore when you were in Minnesota at one point? Am I right about that?
Against the Orioles? No, I've never played. No, I never played against the Orioles professionally. The closest I played is against the Nationals.
Okay, sure. And I'm sure you had a ton of family and friends that came down for that, right?
Oh yeah. Plenty of family and friends came to DC. And anytime we get over here, really, I mean, they made the drive up to Pittsburgh. They came to New York, So anytime we get over here, they try and make it out. But no, I haven't played in Camden Yards yet as a professional.
Unfortunately, if I remember correctly, it's not this year. I don't think. I gotta do my math on this. I don't think that there's a trip to Baltimore. But have you thought about it all? Like, at some point, what that would mean to you to get the chance to play in your hometown?
Oh, I mean, that would mean the world. The last time, the first and only time that I played in Camden Yards was for the Brooks Robinson game.
Right.
In high school. Great experience. I had a lot of fun, ton of fun. The competition was unbelievable, and I had tons of family and friends out for that. So I can only imagine those guys coming out to a professional game against the Baltimore Orioles. I mean, that would be a lot of fun. It would mean a lot to me to be able to do that. But yeah, someday it'll happen. But I'll definitely look forward to it, and that'll definitely be a game or a series that would be circled in my book for sure, and definitely for my family as well.
Lamont, what can I plug for you, man? What all can I get a shout out for? I know you were working. You had like a brand that you were working on, correct?
Oh yeah, LaMonte Wade shop. But my brother is actually running it with a family friend, Austin Suter. My brother and them are running it. They're starting off the clothing line. It's going to be up probably right before spring training. So whenever we start. Whenever we know we're going to go back, they're going to probably start rolling out the clothing line. So definitely looking forward to that coming out soon.
That's awesome, man. Anything that topped hitting the ball in the McCovey Cove when your mom was out there and it went right over her head? Like anything that could possibly top that in your career?
No, I don't think so. I mean, obviously, probably winning a World Series, maybe.
Okay, yeah, sure, all right. I mean, I get that,
but,
right?
But other than that, I mean, I don't think so. I mean, she still talks about that every time I come over to the house. That moment was so special to me. I didn't even know she was up there.
Oh.
She's just always walking around when she gets there to the stadiums and stuff like that. She can't sit in her seat. She can't sit still. So she's just walking around, and she just so happens to see. She hears my name and she sees that I'm up to bat, so she just figured that she would stand there and watch from there. And then next thing you know, I mean, to hit it over her head and for her to watch it and for the cameras to be right there to catch it, I mean, you can't make it up, and it was just special to me. And I actually got the ball back.
Oh, that's cool. That's so cool. And did you give it to her?
I did. She was actually still there, so they were in town. She was still in town when I got it. I got it the next day actually, and I met up with the guy who and retrieved the ball out the bay, and he gave it to me, and I signed a bat and gave him a bat and a couple other things, and we took a picture, and I was very grateful for that day. And my mom actually came back home with the ball. So,
that's so cool, dude.
Every time I come to the house, she has it and shows it to me. So,
right.
No, it's definitely a special moment. I don't think anything will top that.
Oh, that just gave me goosebumps, man. That is so cool. LaMonte Wade, we are so happy for your success, dude. Seriously. Like, we wish it could be back here. Like, it's selfish, right? Like, we wish that's the way it was. But what you're doing and the way that you're showing out for Maryland and a program that's clearly on the rise, it's awesome to see. Congratulations on an amazing year. Hopefully it won't be too long before we're seeing you back out on a baseball field again. Thank you so much for taking the time for us this morning.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Great stuff with LaMonte Wade Jr., of course, Baltimore native, and what a year he had. All right, let's wind down for our portion of the show before we turn it over to ourselves. Tidbit of the day is brought to you by the Stan the Fan Variety Hour. If you missed Stan and Ross Grimsley catching up with former Orioles pitcher Mike Torres on Monday night, you can find it right now by going to facebook.com/PressBoxSports or and then click on the videos tab, or PressBoxOnline.com and click on the video tab there.
All right, so I tried to do this about LaMonte Wade. LaMonte Wade was drafted by the Twins in 2015, making his Major League debut in 2019. Over 2 seasons, Wade was nothing more than a fill-in, playing 42 games and compiling 113 plate appearances. In February of 2021, he was traded to the San Francisco Giants for now former Oriole Sean Anderson, who pitched in 7 games for the Orioles in 2021.
Sure, legendary Oriole.
Where he made his presence known, slashing .253, .326, .42 with 18 home runs in 109 games. Wade is one of 4 active players in Major League Baseball that played their college ball at the University of Maryland, where in his senior season, he was second in the Big Ten with a .335 batting average. Who are the other 3 active players that played for Maryland, and who is the lone all-star of that group?
Brandon Lau.
Brandon Lau. He's the all-star.
Yes. Is Adam Kolarek still in the major leagues?
He is. Adam Kolarek. He's actually been pretty successful, too. You have one more.
Is Brett Cecil still in the bigs?
No, his last year was 2018.
So Kevin Smith?
Kevin Smith.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, very good.
That one was easier than I thought it would be for you.
I mean, mostly because we talked all the, these are all guys that I've known to some extent. Unfortunately, it's been a long. Brandon Lau kind of, I get it. He became a big star. He became, I sort of understand, but kind of fell off the face of the planet for us. Stopped returning messages. Stopped wanting to do anything with us. But all those other guys I've gotten to know a good bit over the years. So, very cool story with LaMonte Wade. All right, Tubular is brought to you today by the CIAA Tournament. Again, it's underway at Royal Farms Arena, CIAA Tournament, or CIAA Tournament.org in order to get your tickets. 6 games today. Right now, they're wrapping up Shaw and St. Augustine's. Coming up next, Livingstone and Johnson C. Smith. The women, Elizabeth City State and Claflin, then Lincoln and Winston-Salem State. Tonight, Fayetteville State and Virginia State men at 6:40. Bowie State, Virginia Union men at 8:50. Again, all on ESPN+, which is also where you'll find Loyola Navy, a good one, the Patriot League, late in the season, 7 o'clock. And UMBC's at Hartford at 7 as well on ESPN+. Big one for Towson. They host James Madison, final home game of the season. Final full home game of the season. So weird. At CQ Arena. Please support, get out, pay attention. It's a big deal. That's tonight at 7. Big Ten Hoops on Big Ten Network. Rutgers, Michigan at 7. Wisconsin, Minnesota at 9. Kings, Coyotes at 10. And Oilers, Lightning at 7:30 on TNT. Champions League on CBS this afternoon. Atletico Madrid, Man U at 3. TBS or AEW Dynamite at 8. Anything non-sports-wise that stands out?
So your shows, I think Wednesday might be your favorite night of television. Maybe not.
I don't know.
In half-hour increments from 8 to 10, you have the Goldbergs, the Wonder Years, the Connors, Home Economics, and the Chase.
I like none of them are really. I mean, I'm coming around on Wonder Years, but they're not mine.
Yeah, the remakes are tough for me. And then on Netflix, the only thing streaming worth note, UFO. It's a new Netflix film. And I always like.
Shouldn't there be a new Pam and Tommy today?
Oh, a new Pam and Tommy. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you. That's on Hulu. That's right.
Yeah, that thing does matter. I do like that.
New Pam and Tommy on Hulu. The TNT is also doing this documentary series that starts in the summer, but they're giving you a free preview right now on demand for the. I think it's Lies and like Lies and Shamelessness or something like that. And the one that they have right now is on Pam.
Right,
and Tommy.
Pam and Tommy. Yeah, I'm familiar with that. All right, very good. Find it at glennclarkradio.com. Tubular is up there. Thanks today to Tommy Davidson. Thanks to Al Hutchinson. Thanks also to Drew Forrester, as well as LaMonte Wade Jr. We'll get it all up in the greatest hits section of the tab at glennclarkradio.com. Stuff and things tomorrow. We'll figure it out then. I think Pete Medhurst might join us for a little bit. Other things. We'll figure it all out tomorrow as we work through some scheduling things for tomorrow's show. Thanks, everybody at PressBox, all of our great sponsors and partners, including Glory Days Grill, Royal Farms, the CIAA Tournament, Grade 8's Memorabilia, Live Casino and Hotel, Underdog Fantasy Football, Blue Line K9, your local Toyota dealer, buyatoyota.com. Thanks to Paul, at Paul Valley III on Twitter. Follow us, Twitter, Instagram, at Glenn Clark Radio. Have a great Wednesday night. Go Loyola/Navy, go Towson, go UMBC. Duke sucks, Ohio State sucks too. If you're with us audio-wise, do nothing. We'll be back shortly. If you're with us on the video, give us 60 seconds. Then go back to where you